Now to UKIP, who won only one seat in the general election, prompting the party leader Nigel Farage to resign. 3 days later, he returned to the job, and it appears it's becoming a bit of a trend in the party. Let's talk to our correspondent, Robin Brandt. What developments are there in UKIP?
Well, another unresignation of a senior figure in that close circle around Nigel Farage. This time it is someone called Matt Richardson. I understand he has now returned to the role as party secretary, a job that he resigned from in that 10-day period after the general election, where you'll probably recall there was an implosion at the very top of UKIP after Patrick O'Flynn, the man who kind of run the election for UKIP, had made a very personal attack on Nigel Farage, calling him snarling and aggressive. And the fallout from that, two very senior aides to Mr Farage were forced out, a man called Rahim Kassam and this person, Matt Richardson. They both went at the insistence of O'Flynn and other senior figures who saw them as a bad influence, saw them as responsible for the more aggressive, strident tone that Mr Farage had adopted during the general election. He was talking about HIV foreigners coming here, getting free treatment on the NHS. So Matt Richardson went, but I now understand he is back. There were some rumours at the beginning of June that the party's executive committee had approved his reinstatement. It has now been confirmed he is back in the job that he resigned from. He's seeing a theme here, not dissimilar to Nigel Farage down at the seaside in Kent the day after he failed to become an MP. So what does it tell us? Well, firstly, Nigel Farage still thinks Matt Richardson is important. Secondly, he believes that that tone adopted during the general election was one that I think he wants to continue. And thirdly, Mr Farage cementing his authority once again. He believes he can do this, wants Richardson back, and Richardson is back in the fold.
Robin Brandt, thank you very much. Matthew Parris, does this mean that actually UKIP, like other political parties, is having its own internal problems?
Yes, huge internal problems. They always have, but they've really burst onto the surface. Now they didn't do well in the election. I don't know what Patrick O'Flynn is going to do now that this person is back, but the problem is that I think the public attention is wandering away from UKIP. One can almost feel it in the studio now. Do we have to do more about UKIP? I think it's all gone off the boil. And
although
I think that
they got a significant number of votes, as you know, there were 4 million votes.
They did very well. It's just that under first past the post system, they didn't do very well. But I just have the feeling that their moment has passed.
Do you?
Yes.
You don't think they're going to be able to build on that, the 2020 strategy that Nigel Farage talked about?
Well, not with rows like this going on all the time.
Well, other parties manage it quite well with internal rows going on. Dare I mention it, the Conservative Party, well, and the Labour Party, obviously, too. I mean, all of them. Why do you think it will stop UKIP progressing at this stage in the Parliament?
I would say that it's because UKIP is really, and always has been, a one-man band. It is a sort of personality cult around Nigel Farage, and Nigel Farage's personality has sustained serious damage in the last few months since the election. I don't think people think that he walks on water any longer. I think he's lost his judgment. In many ways, he seems to be showing strange judgment, poor balance.
Although he seems to be consolidating his position once again.
Well, his enemies will now attack.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.